What's going on, people? My name is Josh, aka The Lucky Botter, and today I am pleased and privileged to bring to you the tutorial for SwiftSole V3. Now, not only will I be going over the modules, I'll be looking at the monitors, the settings, and also the setup. So follow along and let's get hitting with SwiftSole V3. So you might recall me from the live setup days of Supreme on SwiftSole V2. So let's get onto the app. Let's start from the beginning and step by step teach you how to set up SwiftSole V3 to get the most out of this mobile bot. So welcome to the homepage of SwiftSole V3, and as you can see, there's been a massive revamp of all the graphics and the visuals. However, it's still in the same package that you understand and that you remember from V2. It's just a lot more updated. So we're going to start from the top. So first and foremost, you have your notifications. If at any point SwiftSole needs to send you something such as a restock notification or any alerts for updates, etc., you're going to find that right here in notifications. And once you've seen it, if you click the clear button, then of course that will clear it. You then still have the statistics, but now what you can do is actually change that by day, week, month, and all statistics. So you can see I've had 7 successful checkouts and 24 failed checkouts. Obviously that's from testing the app, etc. We go down onto upcoming releases, and of course it is what it says. It's actually a calendar of all shoes or items that's going to be released that actual SwiftSole supports the sites that they're dropping on. It'll give you day by day, month by month, and what you can actually do is go into the particular shoe and you can start seeing a load of other information. For instance, what is the silhouette about? At the bottom there, the actual retail price, the estimated resale, if there's any raffles, and especially, is there any drops coming up? There is also monitors here, but we're going to go into that at another time. You can also set a notification to remind you before it drops or the date when it's going to drop, and you can also favorite it so that it will show up in the top of the main calendar there on favorites. And if I scroll down, we've got a bunch of releases that are currently confirmed. Of course, they can be delayed up until the 1st of Jan, so for this month. We go down and we have all of our purchases down below. You can scroll along to see what I've been buying, or you can click on view all and see it in a list here. It will give you a few different things like your order ID, what payment method did you use, and of course the price that it was on. And of course this is really good of tracking all the items that you've copped and making an inventory list and just keeping on top of all your admin. So we're now going to be going on to adding in your accounts, adding in your profiles, ready for SwiftSole to check out on those particular sites. So first and foremost, you go down into what looks like the credit card icon at the bottom there. And here, this is where you're going to add in your profiles and also accounts for if you're running something like Shopify. But I'll explain that in a second. So I'm going to show you one that I made earlier. Of course, all of this is fake. So I'm just going to go into edit this. So straight away, first and foremost, what you can do is set a nickname. This allows you to basically organize exactly what accounts you're going to use for what stores. So let's say you have 5 cards for Supreme, because remember, it's 1 card or 1 person checkout. Or let's say you have different cards for Shopify or whatever it is, different addresses, etc. Then this is a way in order to manage all of that with a nickname. Then at the bottom there, you want to be putting in all of the address details as well as your email address, phone number, etc., etc. Once you've done that, pressing next will bring you onto the payment info page, where you'll now add in all of your different credit card details. Now here, once you've done that, you can press save profile and it'll be saved. Now let's say, for instance, you want to create a profile that's similar, but all you're going to be doing is changing the card details. Well, very simply, what you can do is click onto that profile and put clone profile. Now we've got home cloned. So I can go in, edit the profile, change up some of the address maybe, and if it's Supreme, maybe change the card to something else. But at least most of the details are there for you, so all you need to do is really alter them. So this is when you want to do something called profile jigging, where you're able to check out more than one item by changing all your different details on there. Now, when it comes to Shopify, you sometimes want to be using accounts. There's 2 different reasons why. One, it can actually make the checkout process quicker if you use details on the account. And 2, sometimes that Shopify store will put in place a measure where you can only check out if you use account details. So if you don't have accounts on that website, it won't let you check out. So very simply, imagine that I was going for a cause item. I'd go onto the cause website, submit all of my details on there, just like what I did in profiles. But I do this on the actual course website. So I'd put my address, my email, my card details, etc., etc. But then what I would do is actually put in the account details here on SwiftSole. So I'd put what website it is, the email address, and the password. Again, this is mainly for Shopify. And this is where ideally you're going to have a faster checkout by using account details. So we recommend making accounts for the main Shopify stores that you run and adding them into SwiftSole so that you can get that ready in your tasks when you create them. And we'll look at that later on in the video. So we're now going to be taking a look at the settings page. And although it's very easy to navigate through, there are some little nuances within settings that make SwiftSole V3 very, very powerful. So first and foremost, of course, you've got your different membership details there. Also, you can go and check your dashboard as well as sign out of the app. One of the biggest things here is a special alerts region. So what you can do is select a region. So I'll put Europe. And what will happen is that anytime SwiftSole has a special alert to send out, such as, for instance, a box logo has just been restocked, it will make sure that I only get those special alerts for that region. Now, next, what you can do is actually add in a webhook from Discord. Now, what that means is basically you can track all of your success in your own Discord server. We do have a guide on that, on how to actually create a Discord server, how to create a webhook, and it will just ping that to you so you can keep a track on exactly everything that you've got. Now, background mode, this just ensures that the app functions while it's working in the background. So basically you can come out of the app and it will still run for the item. However, this excludes smart tasks. Now, smart tasks is basically like a monitor task. So what I can do is create a task here and it will keep on monitoring the website ready for when something drops. But the biggest situation on this is that it doesn't use any data or any proxies. And what will happen is that SwiftSole will create and start a task as soon as that item is detected. So this is something really, really neat when it comes to copying items or when it comes to you setting some stuff up and not knowing when something's dropping. You can create a smart task for a particular shoe, leave the smart task running, keep the app open, and just wait for SwiftSole to find the item, and bang, it will create the task and go to checkout. Now, one other feature that everyone was asking for in V2 has been added onto V3, and that is proxies. So what you can do here is add proxies as and when you need it. However, you don't need it in order to use the app. Most websites allow you to maybe run 5 to 10 items before soft banning you anyway. But let's say you really wanted to use proxies. I don't know, your IP address was banned on Supreme or on Shopify or something like that. Then you're able to add in proxies inside of this window here. So that's something that everyone's been asking for. You can also get SwiftSole to use PayPal checkout. And of course, the way you do that is via the PayPal login button. Now, we'll let you know on certain releases whether that's actually recommended or not, but that means that you can use that rather than using your credit card. You then have your Gmail login. Now, the point in doing Gmail login is so that you can harvest all different captures. So basically, your Gmail score is linked to your email address, which means that when it comes to the checkout, if you have your Gmail logged in on there, the captures will be easier when they come and harvest inside of SwiftSole. Again, we've got a load of different live streams. We've got a load of different setup guides in regards to captures. But just remember, if you are logged in to Gmail via your settings, you are going to be at a better pace because you'll get easier captures when it comes to it. Now, we also have different delays and module settings. Now, the delays here, you can actually set your own custom delays for Supreme and also Shopify. However, the delays are not recommended. Okay, so we do not recommend enabling any of the delays for Supreme and Shopify. But a couple of things that is very, very important is sometimes shipping rates, and not only shipping rates, but a custom site. So, for instance, a shipping rate will help you with a faster checkout, because what that will do is select, if you know that on that website or via the guide that SwiftSole gives you, that there are particular shipping rates for that region or for that site, you can put it in there and SwiftSole will basically get a faster checkout. Custom sites is basically for any other Shopify site that's maybe not on the list inside of the SwiftSole task page. So let's say there's just some random website that's dropping one day and you've noticed that it's Shopify, you see it at the bottom of the window and you don't notice it in the list, you can add in a custom site there. Bear in mind that'll only work if it's a Shopify site. So not just any site can work there. And then you have your monitors. So what you can actually do is add in keywords and monitor alerts when it comes to SwiftSole inside of the back end, shall we say. So I can add in right now, let's say a dunk low, and then I'm going to put dunk as the main one. Obviously that'll pick up high as well. So let's just put dunk and low here. And then the website I'm trying to monitor, you can monitor more than one, but let's say I'm going for KIF and I'm going to confirm that. So it's now going to monitor whether a dunk low drops on KIF, and when it does, it will then add in a task ready to roll and hopefully hit. And then releases, notifications, and the region. Again, like what we've got up at the top there, this is just for the releases and the release part of the home page, not for the alerts, mainly for the releases that are coming up. So we put Europe and I'm going to save settings and we are ready to roll. I am on the correct region, ready for all my release information and also alerts via SwiftSole. So we are now moving on to the main part of the app, and this will be the longest segment, just to let you know. So first and foremost, we are going to be looking at how do you create a task and run on both Supreme and Shopify, and then the different tools that you have at your disposal. So first and foremost, we go on to Supreme. So what you're going to find is that there's no task. I'm going to press plus and I'm going to create a new task. So in here, what you've got, just like V2, is SwiftSole has already populated what is dropping this week. And this is actually what's already dropped because I'm currently filming this on a Friday. So this all dropped yesterday. So what I would do is basically pick what I want to go for. So let's say I wanted to go for this WTAPS varsity jacket. I'll click on the item. I'll then add in all the different details and just a couple of things on this. First and foremost, quantity. It's always one quantity per item. However, sometimes there's accessories where you're allowed to get more than one. For instance, there was lawn chairs, there's been cups, there's been food like Skittles, etc. And you was allowed to buy more than one pack. But always, for most of the time, pick one quantity. Then size. When it comes to sizing, obviously you want to pick what there is. Just bear in mind there's not always a double XL that Supreme drops. Color. You can either go for the colors that SwiftSole has pre-populated, or you can just go for random, because sometimes SwiftSole might put in that it's white and Supreme drops it as cream or off-white or something like that. You pick your profile. Again, I've got 2 profiles put in there. It is 1 item per profile and all profiles need to be unique. Now, task mode, you have drop and restock. Start with drop mode, and then maybe around 10 minutes into the drop, if you haven't hit yet, stop the task, make it a restock mode, and start again. You then have 2 different task flows. You have mobile and desktop. Why is this important? Well, sometimes the payment processor on the desktop site will fail because there's high traffic, but it will work on the mobile site, and vice versa. So sometimes mobile will fail. So if we look at the Tiffany BOGO drop, actually the mobile site loaded around 20 seconds later than the desktop site, which actually meant that it loaded out of stock. So you was at a better advantage if you was running desktop rather than mobile. So we recommend mixing that up. You then also have PayPal checkout. However, on very hyped drops, PayPal usually fails. But again, you might just want to mix up and diversify your tasks so you have more of a chance of hitting. Then the start time, you can either set a timer, so set an actual time for it to start. And usually we recommend start running around 1 minute before the drop, or you just do manual and you start all your tasks when you're ready. So if I create that task now, it's ready to go. In my task list, it's ready. As soon as I press the plus sign and start tasks, it will go. Now, before I do that though, remember we added our Gmail into the settings. Well, now I'm going to put on Capture Harvester, and this is ready to basically solve any captures that come in that Supreme ask us to do for the checkout. But when I'm ready, I press start tasks, and then straight away it's already showing that it's out of stock. It's retrying, it's trying to find it. So I'll just keep waiting until hopefully it does restock and it's ready to hit. We then go on to Shopify, and it's pretty similar, to be fair, but there's a couple of other nuances that you want to be looking at. So first and foremost, we're going to be looking at the different types of modes that you would generally use. It's similar to Supreme, but there's one other option down at the bottom there called mass link change, which we'll go into in a second. So when we create our task, it's exactly the same. However, now, rather than a pre-populated list, you actually pick your website, that's Shopify. And again, don't forget you can add in your own custom websites on settings, and then that will appear on this list. We can either use the link, so if your cook group gets an early link, or we know that it's going to drop on a particular link, or a keyword. So I can put in, let's say, dunk, for instance, because I know, let's say, I don't know, Amamanier is going to drop a dunk. There's no other dunks on the website ready to roll. Size or variant, of course, you put your size in here. Quantity 1, 2, 3, again, depending on the website, will depend on whether you can hit more than one. But generally speaking, when it comes to shoes or sneakers, you can only really get one per profile. Proxy, remember on settings, you could add in a proxy list. Well, if you've done that, you can actually pick your proxy that you want to do for the task there, what profile you want. And now you've got your different modes. You have safe preload, safe, and fast. Now, depending on what site you're running will depend on which mode you want to go for. When it's a big website or any big retailers, they are going to have bot protection, so you want to do safe. Now, if the website doesn't put up a password page before the drop, you can use safe preload, where it'll already have something in a cart ready to check it out, so all you need to do is switch the item. But if the website puts up a password page before, you cannot use that mode. Now, for a very small website or a small retailer or something low-key that generally doesn't know much about bots and bot protection, you can use fast mode. Sometimes some websites do drop stock without bot protection on, and fast mode will be best for that. So again, just diversify your task list to ensure that you've got higher chance of hitting. Site password, just in case you've got to put a password in on the password page, SwiftSole will do that for you. Again, the accounts, we went through that earlier. You put your account here, same as the shipping rate. We went through that earlier. And then start type, either manual, or again, you can put a timer on that. And then remember I said there's another feature here called mass link change. So let's say, for instance, you've put in a URL of a particular shoe, or you've put in a monitor and the website has played around with the name of the product, which sometimes it does, like DSM. They might not put it as Dunk. They might put it as Nike Low Tick Shoe or something like that. Well, what you can do is you can actually find where the item is on the website, copy the link, and then you paste it in here by clicking mass link change, and it will change all of your tasks where you paste the link on that button there. So now we go on to the queue tool. So this is a really good tool for things like Yeezy Supply or anything that basically utilizes Queueit or a queue. So what you're doing is you're basically having a load of different people in the queue for you. So what you do is you press plus, you go on to create task, and very simply, you go into how many do I want. So let's say I wanted 5 of them. You can just use one profile because, again, not all of them is going to get through the queue at the same time. What website am I going to use? Maybe I'm going to do Yeezy Supply, and then you do whatever the URL is. So Yeezy Supply, I'm going to make one up, .com/Josh, save task. And now we've got 5 different people inside of a queue trying to get through a fictitious item that I just made up basically on the spot. So it's very simple as that. Then the monitor page is where you'll find all your alerts come up when monitors ping. So basically, depending on which monitor you've set up, so say for the Dunks or for Jordans, anytime an alert comes, they will appear there and it will pop up and it will stay in there for you. And you can actually save those alerts if you want as a reminder or anything like that. Now, currently, the monitors are there for Supreme and also for shoes and sneakers. However, we don't yet have retail monitors, but they are coming very, very soon. And the last main feature to show you are widgets. So what you can actually do is set up something on your home screen so that you can see exactly what's going on in SwiftSole at a small glance on the home screen rather than keep on going onto the app. So what you need to do is just hold on to your home screen. Top left there, what you're going to get is a plus sign. If I click plus and I just search for V3, I'll have SwiftSole V3 come up. If I click on there, it will tell me what widgets are available for this app. So first and foremost is the analytics. So maybe you want stuff about your checkouts. You want to see exactly what's successful, what's failed, etc., and see that count go up. You've also got it in different view here. Or maybe you want to look at the releases coming up for the week. And again, you can do it in just a double view or a 4 view, so you can see exactly what's happening, kind of like a calendar. You can then also see different information about your modules, so whether your monitors are on or off. Maybe you also want to see the queue tool, Yeezy Supply is coming up, you want to quickly start that just before the sale goes live without going inside of the app. Or maybe you want oversight of all your modules in order for you to quickly go in, quickly start, quickly stop, or change. So let's say, for instance, I put the monitor one, I'm going to add that widget at the top left there, press done. When I'm ready, click on there, and it'll actually take me straight away to SwiftSole, so I can go into there, but I can see the status of what's going on with my monitors straight on the home screen by adding that widget. And that is the main features of SwiftSole V3. I'm sure you'll agree that it is a massive improvement and a massive update from just the SwiftSole that we used to on Supreme, with an amazing amount of features that you're going to be able to utilize, making it easier to run, easier to cop, and of course, fun at the same time. Now, don't forget, you can also manage your subscription over on the dashboard that's linked to your Discord. If at any point you have any questions, you need any support, or you've got any issues, do join the Discord. We've got a bunch of support members there that are absolutely amazing. You can open up a ticket or ask questions in there. Now, we hope you enjoy using SwiftSole V3. Do let us know how it goes. And of course, I cannot wait for that success channel to light up. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, be lucky.